Online legal clinic where we demystify the world of personal injury and we have a little fun. Here is William Risigliano and Frank Filippe.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Legalese. I'm William Risigliano. I'm here with my partner, Frank Filippe. Thanks again for joining us. One of the things that the clients will ask at the beginning of a case is, how much participation, how much involvement am I going to have in the case? And we always tell them that the two events that they're going to be involved in more than any other, and we expect them to be involved in, is their deposition and their physical examination by a defense doctor, or what's called a defense medical examination. So let's talk a little bit about what the deposition is, because it's something that if you've never been through, it's a little bit mysterious and it can be a little bit daunting. So let's talk generally about what the deposition is, Frank.
Yeah, and I think it's even important to mention that, you know, this is not just things that your attorney wants you to be part of. These are things that you have to be part of.
Right.
If you were the client and you decide, well, I'm not going to, take part in a deposition, or I'm not going to go and I'm not going to get examined by the defense doctor, then you could rest assured that the judge is going to dismiss your case.
Right, it's mandatory. It's something
mandatory.
You're going to have to do.
And very important. And a deposition is a question and answer session that's done under oath, where a defense attorney or multiple defense attorneys will be asking you questions about your incident, your injuries, and some other general background information about you and some of the things that you're claiming in the lawsuit.
And what it is, it's a relatively informal procedure. It takes place in an attorney's office. It's usually in your attorney's office. The defense attorneys are there. There'll be a court reporter there that takes down everything that, all the questions that the attorneys ask you and the answers that you give. As Frank said, it's under oath. Your attorney's in the room, seated next to you. Your attorney has the right to make certain objections if they deem that the questions are improper. But as Frank mentioned, the attorneys really aren't there to trick you. They're not trying to get information to confuse you. They're really just trying to get information about the case, and they're trying to also size you up to see what kind of witness you'll make and how credible you are.
Yeah, in most cases, they're not there to trick you. I've had some defense attorneys who maybe were trying to get a little bit of a rise out of the client. So it does occur, but it doesn't happen all that often.
So the clients will always say, well, what are they going to ask us? We generally have an idea of what they're going to ask. The topics are usually, they want to know background, if the person's married, where they live, those kind of things. They obviously want to ask about the incident, how it happened. They're going to want to ask about medical treatment. And then at the end of the case, they'll ask the client how the incident and the injuries have affected both them and their family. Mm-hmm. And typically the attorney will go over some of the questions with the client so that they're prepared for what they're going to be asked. So it takes a little of the mystery out of the deposition on the day that it occurs.
Yep. And then, so after that occurs, the next step for you as the client would be the defense medical exam or the independent medical exam. And that's, again, something that you have to show up to. And the reason for that is the doctor that's performing that examination is also maybe going to review your medical records and testify as a defense expert at the trial if there is one.
Yes, if you're putting your physical and medical condition at issue and you're saying that somebody else caused an injury to you, the defendants have a right to have their own doctor examine you and make a determination as to whether or not your injuries were caused by the incident, whether or not you actually have the injuries that are being claimed, and whether or not you have any permanency related to those injuries. Sometimes the attorneys can be present for the examination. Sometimes the attorneys are not present for the examination. And usually the doctors are not involved in any invasive procedures. They don't perform injections, they don't take blood, they won't take x-rays or CAT scans or MRIs of you. They're just there to do a physical examination of the client. Well, hopefully this took some of the mystery out of what a deposition is and what a IME or defense medical examination is as well. If you have any questions or you want further information about this topic, please feel free to reach out to us and ask any questions that you may have. And Frank, I think, is going to let you know how to get in touch with us to do that.
And if you like our live stream, is to follow us on Facebook, Risigliano and Felipe PC. We're also on YouTube and Twitter, so subscribe at RF Injury Law. We'll be answering a couple of questions from our followers every month at the beginning of the live stream. So send us your questions in the comments or send us a message.
Thanks for watching, and we'll see you down the road.